And a welcome to Baraboo High School here in Baraboo, Wisconsin. We got a good matchup here tonight. Your Mount Horeb Vikings looking to come away with the victory tonight after a devastating and heartbreaking loss to the hands of the Monona Grove Silver Eagles last week by 3 points. And Dan, before we get anything started tonight, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Spencer Wohler, the older brother of Stuart Wohler, a current player on varsity basketball. Spencer himself was a player on varsity for a couple years for Coach Nessheim, and he is reffing the JV game as we speak. So big shout out to Spencer. And also a shout out to my ecology teacher, Mr. Shea, who gives me pointers along the way. Dan, very helpful pointers. I say helpful pointers. But we got 10 seconds left of the JV game. Dan, we only had a minute tonight, so I couldn't let you do it. Get some stuff in, but Vikings coming off an emotional loss tonight. Emotional loss of last time. Only a 3-point loss to Monona Grove, but they found themselves down by 12, fought back to, I think, reclaim the lead by a point, and then just couldn't hold on to that, and the Silver Eagles pulled it away, having the Vikings in second place tied with Sauk. So that'll be an interesting matchup later on this year when the Vikings play Sauk again. Also, another interesting matchup is going to be Wanakee, as Wanakee beat the #1 seed in the South, the Stoughton Vikings. So big win for the Wanakee Warriors. And we got some past game stats. I believe actually Baraboo last came off of their win in the Badger Challenge against Milton, so they got their 3rd win of the season. But the last time we saw these Thunderbirds was Friday, December 1st, was a 32-point Viking victory. That was at home, but this is a little different part of the season here, Dan. We know that teams who aren't exactly in contention tend to turn it on here when they play these higher seeds, as Dan is getting some word from one of our fellow film guys up here, Andrew Split. Dan, I was saying was sometimes these teams that aren't necessarily in contention for the Badger North are the most dangerous, because they'd be very happy to ruin your season, and if the Vikings were to lose today, that would for sure, you'd think, solidify them as the best they could get is maybe 3rd place, because you got a couple really tough games coming up for the Vikings, especially this Thursday when they play at home against Barneveld. So that'll be a good game. Make sure you folks show up to the high school at, what, Dan, 7? Or maybe just a little early, because it'll be going to be packed. You know, Barneveld people are going to make the, 15-minute trip over to Mount Horeb. So you're going to know that place is going to be full, and we're going to make sure we're up there giving you folks the best game that we can if you can't be there. But Dan, like the last game we said, 32-point victory for the Vikings, just an absolutely dominant game that the Thunderbirds just were never in, and this is a different aspect. Like I said, Dan, teams are more dangerous when they're not necessarily in contention, and it's also on their home court, so that gives them a little bit of an advantage here tonight.
An analogy I make on occasion is kind of like the 15 seed beating the 2 seed in March Madness, kind of the underdog team really rallying to beat the team that everyone kind of almost bet would win.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good analogy, Dan, because right now our Vikings are heavily favored against this game, and who knows, maybe if they overlook these Thunderbirds and don't come prepared, they could surprise them. I mean, we saw when we first played Baraboo, the game wasn't as close as it really entailed, I would say. Even though they were down by quite a bit, that they still did show some promise later in the game when they'd make some short comebacks. But, I mean, it's neither it's not. I don't want to say that past games really reflect on how they're going to play today, because it's not. They're not going to play exactly like they did against each other like the first time they played, because that's physically and mentally impossible to exactly repeat a game. As people are starting to fill up here, good representation by our Mount Horeb Vikings crowd, but Dan, like we said, the Vikings unfortunately coming off an emotional loss that really came down to the wire here. The last game, you and I were starting to get back into it after a long time injury timeout, and hopefully Joey Scalisi is okay, the guy who got injured. Word was it was a arm injury, and we hope he's recovering as we speak. But Dan, an emotional loss, and you got to think that's still in the head of the Vikings here tonight, because it's hard to come off of a very emotional loss like that one. I mean, up 7 in the first half, and unfortunately gave up like a 15-point run where Monona Grove was up by 12 points. The Vikings did a good job even coming back in that game, but just an emotional loss that they're going to try to keep in the back of their minds and not focus too much about it, because if you dread too much on the past, maybe bad things can happen. We got right now in the Badger North, right now the Vikings are only 1 game behind Waunakee despite beating the Warriors, but like I said, that loss to Monona Grove isn't, I don't want to call it a good loss, Dan, because I don't believe there's such a thing as a good loss, but that was an extremely talented team that we saw the Vikings play. 2 6'7" guys, Dan, that were absolutely dominating the game, and they, like I said, I don't. There's no such thing as a good loss, but they played their hearts out and they did the best that they can, and they unfortunately lost that game. But I mean, that's all that Coach Nessheim can basically ask for, is that each player pours all their heart out on the court every single game. As your Vikings are going to take the court, same with the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbird Pep Band is going to play to try to send their team to victory here. The Vikings are going to look to try to ruin, I don't want to call it a homecoming for the Thunderbirds, because, I mean, for all we know, it might be. Sorry, man, jeez. These guys are really playing loud, Dan. But some solid stats, I would say, is the height advantage, I believe, goes to the Vikings. They don't really have a very tall lineup here for the Thunderbirds. I remember Justice Newman, the 6-foot forward, if that sounds normal, was very good down low in the post, very effective in the first game that the Vikings played. So that'll be something that they're going to try to do also. Last game, Dan, something the Vikings weren't able to do in the second half is really knock down three-pointers. And if you're anybody watching the tape of the Mount Horeb Vikings, that's one thing you're going to need to do is if you completely take away the three-point line, they're going to be forced to make post-up shots where they don't exactly have the height advantage. So if there was one area I had to pick on for the Vikings, it would be their post play, and their ability to knock down threes is going to be really important to come away with a victory tonight.
The Baraboo Thunderbirds are returning one of their key players. Coach Nessheim was saying, number 24, Austin Burkhalter, who I believe was a honorable mention all-conference. So we'll see how he factors into the play of the Thunderbirds tonight.
And Dan, we said earlier, like it's kind of like a 15 seed playing a 2 seed, and that's an extremely good analogy because, I mean, the Vikings have a lot to play for right now. They're only 1 game behind the Waunakee Warriors in the Badger North division, but like I said, a loss today could be extremely devastating for the Vikings and would probably move them out of the tie for second place with Sauk and into solidifying third. But Dan, like we said, the records do not show or do not really compare to the talent that they have played. They played a Portage team right now who's 5-9, but they have a player in Craig Steele who averages around 19.2 points per game. So you know he's going to go off. As long as also like Tyson Tully, Dan, a player who absolutely lit it up against the Vikings. One players to watch out later in tournament play, I would say, but we don't like to focus on the tournament here because we have a lot of ball to play, and it all starts with this game tonight. Dan, as we look at past games that the Vikings have had, I believe they average around 55 or 60 points a game, right around there. And I say every single game that the magic number for the Vikings is getting to that 50 mark, and I'm not going to change it. It was the same thing last week. The Eagles got to the 50 mark before the Vikings, and they came away with a W. So whoever comes to the 50 mark first today, I believe, will come away with the victory. Dan, you have anything else to add before I send her to a quick break?
Not much I can think of.
All right, we got 11:10 left in our little pregame show. You've been listening to Wisco Radio. When we come back, we'll have some more stats and previous games, reactions, and little pointers that the Vikings need to take care of. So when we come back, all of that will be right here for you. Don't tune away, folks. We got a great one here for you tonight.
From your backyard to your back 40, Badgerland Fencing covers all of your fencing needs. From farm to residential to commercial fences, Badgerland Fencing offers you the highest quality work at the industry's most competitive prices. Chris and his team have over 30 years of experience and urge you to call for a free estimate. Their number, 608-444-9266. 608-444-9266. Call today. On the news, in the paper, or on the web, it seems we are always hearing about the incredible things 3D printing can do. And it's true. Every day, amazing things are 3D printed at Midwest Prototyping. Since 2001, Midwest Prototyping has been creating world-class parts and prototypes for companies across the country, all from right here in Wisconsin. Midwest Prototyping is proud to support Mount Horeb Athletics. Go Vikings! Focused Dog Training provides comprehensive, lasting dog training for families. We offer a suite of high-touch training services that allow us to tailor our approach to your specific needs and produce results regardless of your dog's age, breed, and prior training history. We stand behind our training methods and guarantee that Focused Dog Training will be your trainer for life. Call us at 855-636-2873 or visit FocusedDogTraining.com to learn more about your free in-home consultation. Focused Dog Training, focused on helping families one dog at a time. Build your new home in Mount Horeb's desirable Valley View Heights neighborhood. Attractively priced, single-family home sites for your new custom home are now available on the southwest side of beautiful Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. Call Alex Pfister with Century 21 Pfister Agency at 608-576-7222. That's 608-576-7222. Join the Valley View Heights neighborhood today. Farmers Savings Bank is proud of their community banking tradition. Farmers Savings Bank is committed to providing a high level of customer service and products to enhance the well-being of the communities they serve. Whether it's for a home, farm, land, or business loan, Farmers Savings Bank has money to lend. Located in many locations across southern Wisconsin, be sure to call your local Mount Horeb Farmers Savings Bank at 608-437-2265. Farmers Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender. The GrandStay Hotel and Suites is a brand new hotel in Mount Horeb. The GrandStay caters to businesses and leisure travelers and is ideal for individuals and families. In a convenient location near Madison, GrandStay is also a great option for guests visiting neighboring Barneveld or Epic Systems in Verona. We offer clean, comfortable rooms, free hot breakfast, an indoor pool, hot tub, and a 24-hour fitness center. To see pictures, visit GrandStayMountHoreb.com or book online or call today 608-437-5200 to make your reservation. Dr. Steven Samuelson and Lauren Ta are your local eye care professionals. Any time of year is a great time to schedule your optical exam and your eye care needs. Clear vision starts with healthy eyes, so contact Samuelson Eye Care, 437-3377 to schedule your eye exam today. 437-3377. You'll be glad you did.
Are you in need of chiropractic services? Dr. Joe Ryan at Mount Horeb Chiropractic will provide the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. Dr. Ryan uses advanced spinal correction and chiropractic adjustments utilizing state-of-the-art techniques. Dr. Ryan has years of training, expertise, and experience in helping patients get relief from their back pain, neck pain, and other related conditions. Located at 1840 Business Highway 18151 next to Pizza Hut, or call 608-437-0099 to set up an appointment today.
Now it's time to get back to the Vikings athletic action, brought to you live right here on Wisco Radio.
Welcome back here to Wisco Radio and Baraboo High School main gym, I would say, Dan, because we got a good matchup for you tonight here with with Baraboo and your Mount Horeb Vikings. So as we got a little band is playing loud and proud, Dan. Jeez, it's almost hard for me to hear you. But to continue with basketball, we often like to talk about keys to the success in all the games that the Vikings play. And one main one that always sticks out to me, Dan, is free throws. The Vikings were actually extremely good shooting free throws against Monona Grove's Silver Eagles, but unfortunately they lost that game. And usually when you think shooting around 88% from the free throw line, you're like, man, they still lost that game. That's pretty unusual. But I mean, that was a heck of a team that the Vikings played, and don't be fooled by the record of the Baraboo Thunderbirds at 3-15 or 13. They are a good team that could surprise you if you're not careful, as the Vikings retake the court and stretch and get ready for this one they have tonight. Dan, we often like to talk about who's the leading scorers of the team, but one things that contribute, if not as much to scoring, is rebounding, getting blocks, steals, and no turnovers. If I had to nitpick one more time about the game the Vikings played against Monona Grove, the thing that really killed them was defensive rebounds and also turnovers. Turnovers are unacceptable when you're in scoring position, and that's basically just giving up free points and some points that they desperately needed. There were a couple cases where if the Vikings would have gotten a defensive rebound off of two missed free throws, they would have been able to potentially come away with that victory tonight. But unfortunately, they weren't able to do so, and they're going to look to rebound. Get it, Dan? Basketball joke. They're going to look to rebound tonight.
That was hilarious, Will.
I know. I'm just full of pure joy and amusement. So they're going to look to rebound tonight with a win. Maybe a confidence-boosting win over Baraboo, and don't get fooled. They're going to try to attack the Vikings in as many ways as possible, and they'd be happy to send these Vikings on a two-game losing streak. We got 3:40 left in our little pregame show. We'll come back with starting lineups and more keys to the game. You've been listening to Wisco Radio, folks. Don't tune away. We got a great one for you tonight. See you in a little bit.
Hey sports fans, be sure to cheer on your local sports team just like Kittleson Landscape has for over 25 years. Like many of you, Craig and his team have students and athletes in the Mount Horeb schools and are dedicated to their success and the overall success of the athletic programs. Need a place to go and unwind after the big game? Kittleson Landscape specializes in outdoor fire pits, patios, and much more. To get your free estimate today, call 608-437-8845. Hope you enjoy the game, brought to you by Kittleson Landscape. Go Vikings! When the stadium lights go on, you know it's time for Mount Horeb Barneville football, and that's where you'll find Mark Norman and Associates. As a parent and local business owner, Mark knows the importance of supporting high school athletics, the athletic program, and Mount Horeb Barneville football. Mark Norman and Associates also knows the importance of buying or selling your property. At First Weber of Mount Horeb, Mark Norman and Associates want to help you find the perfect home in the area, whether it be in the town or in the country. For the expertise and the experience you need, call 608-575-3393 or visit them online, marknortman.firstweber.com. Wisco Radio welcomes our newest sponsor, Veek Steinet Chiropractic of Mount Horeb. Dr. Kristen and her team are here to help you and your family stay happy and healthy all year round. Veek Steinet provides chiropractic services for infants to seniors alike. Conveniently located at 1809 Springdale Street in the North Cape building, you can easily make an appointment today by calling 608-437-2222. 608-437-2222. Veek Steinet Chiropractic, helping the body heal itself.
Whatever the occasion, the Grumpy Troll is the perfect location to meet friends, family, or business associates. Located at 105 South 2nd Street in Mount Horeb's historic creamery building, the Grumpy Troll is Mount Horeb's dining destination. You'll experience a relaxed and casual dining experience along with favorites such as the Grump Chips or the Oofta Pretzel. The second level is home to Grumpy Troll's award-winning specialty pizza, including Cosmic Swirl, Piggy Pie, and their traditional Grumpy Troll pizza. Stop in today.
PlayN Wisconsin is a proud supporter of Wisco Radio and this year's Mount Horeb Barneville football team. To help better your game, we sell training goals for stepping, tackling, blocking, and best of all, improving your quarterback's throwing arm. Try it first at PlayN Wisconsin in Middleton.
All right, guys, we're ready for our four-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-988-4477. That's 800-988-4477. Call 800-988-4477 today.
Experience any of PlayN Wisconsin's play systems, trampolines, basketball hoops, ceramic grills, and so much more at Wisconsin's largest indoor showroom, play, and party facility in Middleton. Unlike other suppliers, we're local and provide in-house service from consultation to installation. Try it first at PlayN Wisconsin. You are listening to the Mount Horeb Vikings on Wisco Radio. Farmers Savings Bank is proud of their community banking tradition. Farmers Savings Bank is committed to providing a high level of customer service and products to enhance the well-being of the communities they serve. Whether it's for a home, farm, land, or business loan, Farmers Savings Bank has money to lend. Located in many locations across southern Wisconsin, be sure to call your local Mount Horeb Farmers Savings Bank at 608-437-2265. Farmers Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender. Can't make it to the game? Catch it live on WiscoRadio.com or download our mobile app on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.
And a welcome back to Wisco Radio. Sorry, folks, we couldn't quite get back in time for the national anthem. But, Dan, we're going to get some quick keys to the game. Transition buckets, solid D, no turnovers, free throws, and three-pointers. That sound about accurate?
I got to add one more if that's A-okay with you.
That's perfectly fine.
Not allowing offensive rebounds. That's one thing the Vikings kind of struggled with last week. Last week. I think there for a sec. And that's one thing they have to, I wouldn't say work on, but like not struggle as much with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that perfectly makes sense. And for your starting lineups for your Vikings, we got number 1, Dustin Zenz. Number 2, oh geez, my ear's starting to ring because this band is playing so loud. So we got Dustin Zenz, Bryce Farnsworth, Travis Classy, Gunnar Nortman, and Jason Larson. The usual starting lineup for Coach Nessheim. Or we got to get a switch up after the starters. We got Tyler Kruba starting in place of Travis Classy. Actually, I didn't see Travis today at school, so Tyler Kruba gets the nod as starter. We got a little shake up here. So we got number 4, Mason Peterson, alongside with number 3, Joe Scout, number 11, Caden Carpenter, number 23, Connor Gogan, and number 32, Justice Newman.
If I remember one thing about Connor Grogan from last year is he's a knockdown shooter. You do not want to leave him open. It's only if I remember it correctly, which may not be.
I want to apologize in advance, folks, if the band is playing pretty darn loud. It's playing loud for us, and we apologize if it's destroying your eardrums. But hopefully we make up for that by giving you a good game tonight. We got Jason Larson and Mason Peterson ready for the tip. 2 6'3" guys, but I don't know if Mason Peterson's quite 6'3". Jason Larson's 6'3", and he's a little bit taller. As Jason Larson's tap goes to Dustin Zenz as we get the game started with a Vikings board. Gunnar Nortman's a little baseline drive, kick out to Jason Larson, whose 2-point shot is no good. And that'll be a quick possession for the Vikings, as the Thunderbirds get it over to Peterson, looking to get it down low to Newman. Tough drive, kick out to number 24, Austin Burkhalter. Dan, that one all conference, as Bryce Farnsworth jacks up a deep 3 and nails it. So that's how we start the scoring tonight for the Vikings, a deep Bryce Farnsworth 3-pointer.
Farnsworth starting tonight like he did against the Eagles. Sorry, forgot there for a sec.
Leona Grove?
Yes.
There you go.
1 for 1 from downtown. We'll see if he can go 3 for 3 from
Scout
downtown.
to Newman. Over to Gorgon, to Burkhalter, over to Carpenter. Quick shot there you go. Connor Gorgon. A little 2-point shot drops as Jason Larson kicks out to Dustin Zenz. We got a little baseline room. Instead drives, kicks it out to Bryce Farnsworth with similar spot. Instead, he'll pull up. His shot is blocked by Peterson. Over to Larson. Kick out to Bryce Farnsworth. Looking to get it over to Gunnar Nortman. Gunnar Nortman gonna kick it out to Dustin Zenz. A little slow possession here for the Vikings. 3-2 lead for the Vikings is Dustin Zenz. Guarded by Scout. He'll go spin move right into Newman. Shot is no good. And rebound by Gorgon. Burkhalter. Peterson. Mason Peterson. Offensive foul going against the Thunderbirds. With 16 minutes left. 2 minutes past, Dan, if you can do that quick math. And in your head, as Norman will get it into Zenz. Quick 2 minutes pass, and it's 3-3, they say. That doesn't seem right to me. 3-2, I believe, as Bryce Farnsworth thought about the 3, and he'll drive. Tough slash. Jason Larson will back out. He'll go to the hole. Nice little spin move. Kicks it out to Dustin Zenz. Over to Larson, guarded by Newman, so he has the height advantage. Kruba. Kruba going to kick out to Gunnar Nortman. Tough drive to the hole. Floater is up and good. Little short, but he puts it in, and that'll get the Vikings the lead. 5-3 with 15:27 left in the first half.
Not sure how we got that to roll in, but hey, I'm not arguing.
Mason Peterson, guarded by Dustin Zenz. You're going to get it over to Burkhalter. Burkhalter down low to Peterson. He's going to try to kick it out to Gorgon. Instead, he's going to try to post up. His shot is no good. Off of Newman, and that'll be the Vikings ball. So a little hot potato game. We're playing down low on the baseline. Dustin Zenz is going to get over to Tyler Kruba, over to Jason Larson. Nice slashing Gunnar Nortman, little curl cut, as they say. Over to Tyler Kruba, looking to get it down low to Gunnar Nortman. He's going to try to go to work against Gorgon. Sizes him up, kicks it out to Tyler Kruba. Tough drive to the hole, athletic lay up and in.
Great strong move there by Kruba, the senior, getting it around the defender for the and one.
And I want to say this is a kind of a statement game for Tyler Kruba to potentially say that he can be a starter as well, with Classy out tonight. So Kruba will be at the line to try to finish off the 3-point play off of an athletic layup. Kruba, he's going to get ready and get set. His free throw is up Back iron, no good. A little tough, a little strong. And Gorgon will get it over to number 11, Caden Carpenter. Tough defense by the Vikings, double teaming Carpenter. He has got nowhere to go. Timeout called by Baraboo.
30-second timeout. We will keep it right here.
As Dan said, we will keep it right here. Good solid defense there for the Vikings, and they just pushing Carpenter back to the
triple teamed in a way.
Yeah, triple teamed and pushing him back to the mid-court line, if that's what you want to call it, or half court. Using that half court line as a defender. If they were to go over, they get an over and back call. So Vikings doing a solid job on defense so far with a 7-3 game with 14:30 left in the first half.
Low scoring affair.
Low scoring affair, huh, Dan? Just a couple minutes into the game, so yeah. If it were to stay that way, I would say, yeah, it's a low scoring game, but my guess is it's not going to. So, like I said, little missing Travis Classy tonight, so Tyler Krubel will take his place as a starter tonight as Mason Peterson looking to get things going. He's double teamed by Gunnar Nortman, Jason Larson, and Dustin Zenz. Gets it down low to Mason Peterson, kicks it out to Newman. He'll jack up a three, guarded by Krubel, and he knocks it down.
I'm liking the man bun by
Newman. Zenz gets it over to Jason Larson. He's going to drive behind the back. Nice little baseline cut by Tyler Krubel. Surprisingly, no foul, and Thunderbirds have a chance to tie it up or take the lead. Peterson, guarded by Zenz, will get it over to Scout. Over to Carpenter, finds a slashing Gorgon, back to Scout. Over to Newman, thought about a three, pump fake, drive to the hole. His shot, no good. Rebound by Bryce Farnsworth. Outlet pass to Zenz, who gets it over to Kruba. Larson thought about a three, and he shuffled his feet. So that'll be a travel call going against the Vikings.
As Owen Ziegler looking to check in for
Larson. So Ness not happy about the turnover and immediately takes him out and puts in one of his sophomores. So Baraboo, another chance to... Geez, I keep getting the score wrong. Does Baraboo really have 6? I don't know. That's my fault if they do. So Baraboo a chance to take the lead here. Down 6-7. Pass over to Gorgon. He sets his feet for three. His shot is short, no good. Rebound by Dustin Zenz. He'll try to outlet it. Owen Ziegler is wide open. Bounce pass into Kruba. His shot is floated up and in.
Great pass there by Ziegler, leading to the tough bucket.
Had an open three, instead kind of baited his defender, drove it in, and kicked it to Tyler Kruba, who floated it up and in as Peterson's guarded toughly by Zenz. Tip pass over to Gorgon, who gets it over to Scout, trying to get baseline. It's Carpenter, guarded by Ziegler. Over to Peterson. Trying to get it over to Scout, but Kruba not giving up an inch. Fake handoff as Peterson's athletic layup is up and in. So Zenz will trot it across the half-court line, kick it over to Gunnar Nortman. Almost lost the ball. He's going to take it himself. Drive it, athletic layup using the right hand. Up and in.
Interesting no call by the refs. Not sure which way they're going to call it.
Interesting that he used his right hand going left instead of left. Or left going left. As Scout guarded by Kruba. Carpenter over to Peterson. Thought about the three. Nice little spin move to get himself open. Athletic layup, no good, but a foul. So he'll be at the free throw line shooting two.
First foul of the game by Vikings and third overall early on this Tuesday game.
Just a little update here to the folks if they're at home watching the Badger games. The Badgers unfortunately trail 44-58 to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
As Charlie Fish checks in for Tyler Kruba.
So, back to our game, Dan. Fortunately, the Badgers don't look like they're going to pull that one off. And Iowa, I believe, what was that, Dan? 2 made free throws. I'm sorry, I wasn't quite paying attention.
11-10 now. Your score with 11:42 in the first half.
So Farnsworth gonna, like you said, Dan, Charlie Fish checking in, guarded by Peterson. He'll try to slash baseline. Gunnar Nortman sizing up.
Great spin move.
Sizing up.
Great spin move leading to the little fading hook.
Honorable mention, all conference, Burkhalter. Gunnar Nortman just sized him up and put it right in. As Peterson guarded by Zenz. Open three-point shot was Burkhalter, just elected not to take it. To Carpenter over to the checked in Calvin Peterson, over to Mason Peterson, over to Burkhalter, the all-conference honorable mention Peterson. Guarded by Zenz, over to Peterson. Calvin Peterson, that is. Guarded by Fish to Burkhalter, guarded by Nortman, who's given up an inch. Burkhalter tried to go baseline instead. Nice little pick by Dustin Zenz. Didn't quite know who was going to pick it up. And he'll get it to Charlie Fish. A little too fancy there was Charlie Fish, and that'll be a weird there. Number 35, Caden Bloom, just grabbed it and didn't try to throw it back into play, but
as Stuart Wohler checks in early.
So Stu Wohler getting some varsity playing time here.
Along with Jason Larson checking in for Dustin Zenz and Bryce Farnsworth.
So Ziegler gonna lob it in to Larson. Wohler's open, gets it down low to Nortman. He's going to try to size up. Tries to size up Gorgon, and his shot is short, no good.
I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I had to look at our roster to see who 24 was. Sorry, Stu.
Oh, I knew him right away. I could tell by his face. As Carpenter, his shot, he gets it over to Newman, whose shot rims in and out. And grabbed by Gunnar Nortman, gets it over to Charlie Fish, kicks it open to a wide open Ziegler. His shot was way long from the beginning as Nortman tried to save it. That was unusual, Dan. We don't usually see Ziegler miss threes by that much. Well, he'll look to rebound. He usually does after a miss. He usually drains the deep one. So
another basketball pun there. Rebound using the same one, Will. I see you.
I unintentionally made a joke. Calvin Peterson's going to drive tough to the hole. His floater's up, no good. Newman gets the rebound and puts it up and in with one hand.
That was one of our keys to the game, is not allowing many or any at all offensive rebounds. And those typically lead to easy buckets, and that just proved to be the case there.
Charlie Fish over to Jason Larson. He's going to try to drive over. Nice little baseline drive by Ziegler is cut off. He gets it over to Larson. His shot is no good, rebounded by Newman. So Thunderbirds a chance to take the lead for the first time this game. Newman's going to try to call for the three-point shot. Instead, he's good job. Closing out was Gunnar Nortman. Pass over to Mason Peterson. That's a deep position, or deep beyond the three-point line. Pass down low to Calvin Peterson, who kicks it out to Carpenter. Instead, he'll take a mid-range J. He splashes it, and Baraboo has their first lead of the night.
14-13, Baraboo is in the lead with 8:53 in the first half.
I could have sworn that they got something wrong with the scoreboard, but I trust they have it correct. As Charlie Fish gets it over to Gunnar Nortman, sets his feet for three. His shot is short, no good, and that's rebounded by Carpenter. So Baraboo looking to try to extend the lead. As Gorgon gets it over to Carpenter, back to Peterson. Peterson guarded by Larson. Tough drive to the hole. Peterson banks it off and in. And wow, look at that. 3-point lead for the Thunderbirds. And the Vikings haven't scored in a little bit of a scoring drought here. And they're going to need to respond here as Charlie Fish, as Stu Wohler was slashing, trying to get it down low to him. Got the height advantage. Little baseline drive by Ziegler. Needs to kick it out to Wohler. Wohler corrals it. Gets it over to Charlie Fish. Larson is wide open for three. Elected not to get it to him. Nortman sizing up. Gorgon instead gets it to Larson off of the carom of Newman. Larson sets his feet, and the ball is tipped up and in by Nortman and Charlie Fish, Dan, I would say. Both of them.
Give a point to each, maybe?
Give a point to both of them. They'll get to share that. Carpenter, skip pass over to Gorgon. Thought about the three. Good job by Stu Wohler closing out quick. Peterson, guarded by Larson, over to Newman. He'll jack up a three. His shot is short, no good. Rebound by Gorgon. His shot is up and in. And that has got to be driving Coach Nessheim absolutely crazy. offensive rebounds have been killing the Vikings as Ziegler going to get it over to Larson, guarded by Newman. Larson has room to work if he so chooses.
If I'm not mistaken, that's offensive rebounds leading to an easy layup on back-to-back possessions for the Thunderbirds.
Larson going to clear it out, get it over to Ziegler, guarded by Carpenter. They know that Ziegler's a three-point threat. Had us cutting Stu Oler for a second. Calling for a screen to Jason Larson, and a travel called on Gunnar Norton. So some subs are going to check in as the Vikings are down by 3 to the Thunderbirds here. A little surprise here.
Malik Winston, Dustin Zenz, and Tyler Krubaugh check back in.
I believe the only player that did not check in was Jason Larson, as Calvin Peterson's going to look to try to cross the court line. Pass over to Gorgon, trying to get it to Carpenter. Carpenter guarding Kruba. Carpenter over to Burkhart, guarded by Winston. Larson guarding Gorgon. Peterson thought about the three, but they don't get a travel. Zenz almost poked it away. Jeez, what a crazy little sequence there. Pass over to Burkhart. He's going to slash, kick it over to Gorgon. Pass over to Burkhart. Back to Calvin Peterson, guarded by Zenz. Number one versus number one. As Carpenter bounced down low to Gorgon. Jason Larson trying to get those charge call, and he does. So that'll be a turnover. Thunderbirds, and the Vikings will look to try to cut into this deficit. So we got a sub, number 21, Ryan Jin, the 6'3" junior, as Zenz. He's going to get it to Farnsworth, over to Kruba. Had a slashing. And a wide open Winston. Nice little curl cut as Larson's going to go right at number 35, Caden Bloom, and he banks it up and in. And we got a 1-point game.
Great job using the glass there for a tough floater layup type thing.
Larson went straight at Bloom. Pass over to Burkhart, down low to Bloom. He'll try to go to work against Farnsworth. Gets himself wide open. Shot is not blocked, just short. So Farnsworth looking to push. Instead gets it over to Zenz to Larson. Zenz gets it to Farnsworth, guarded by Burkhart. Farnsworth, he's going to drive. Nice little hesitation move. Pass over to Kruba. Gets it over to Zenz. Zenz looking to try to get Farnsworth open for a three-point shot. Winston had a nice cut to see him. Farnsworth posting up. Nice little spin move on Burkhart is splashed. And just like that, the Vikings have the lead back, 19-18.
Great little fadeaway there, kind of like Kobe Bryant-esque over
Kobe Bryant fadeaway shot, as Dan said. Cutting Burkhalter as a foul is called. And that'll be against Larson, I believe. Winston, excuse me. As Newman, Peterson, and Scout will check back in for the Thunderbirds.
Is it weird saying Winston for basketball, not football?
It is actually, just a little bit, because I'm expecting to say touchdown Winston, or 50-yard touchdown by Winston, or 2-point conversion by Winston. Zenz guarding Peterson. Over to Scout. Over to... Peterson. Over to Scout. Trying to get it down low to Newman. Newman's going to try to go to work against Kruba. He'll go it to the lane. His shot is up and good. So the Thunderbirds, just like that, get back in the lead.
Great job using the left. Presumably his offhand. That's a tough shot.
Tough shot indeed that Newman just rattled home. Winston guarded by Peterson. Nice little cut by Zenz. He gets himself open, but he gets fouled, so we got 4:01 left on the clock. Zenz will be at the free throw line shooting two. Or no, excuse me, he won't be at the free throw line. They'll inbounding it. Not a shooting foul, they say on the floor.
As Nortman checks in for Winston.
Stole the words right out of my mouth, Dan.
Great minds think alike is what I like to say.
Yeah? Excuse me. As Zenz will look to inbound it, we got Kruba, Zenz, Farnsworth, Larson, and Nortman, the starting five. As of tonight for Coach Nessheim, like we said earlier, a missing Travis Classy as the referees are discussing whether or not it is a Vikings ball. And we're getting word here as for some reason the ref approached Gunnar Nortman. We'll have to hear word about that. Not quite sure what it's for. As Zenz, he'll lob it into Nortman. Over to Farnsworth, guarded by Peterson. Or, excuse me, Gorgon. Or, no, Burkhalter. Jeez, I'm struggling here, Dan. A little post-up move by Farnsworth gets cut off. Nice little back cut by Kruba, and the ball is turned over, so Ness is not happy. So inbound pass to Scout, gives it right back to Peterson, and he'll look to trot it across the midcourt line, leading by 1, 20 to 19. The Thunderbirds with a 1-point lead. Scout. He's guarded by Nortman, who's got him at the midcourt line. Tough drive to the hole, kick out by Burkhardt. His three-point shot is good. So now the Vikings trail by 4. Outlet pass to Tyler Kruba. The Vikings need to get something going here. They're down here to Baraboo by 4 as Larson set his feet, jacks up a 3 of his own. That shot is short, no good. The offensive rebound by Dustin Zenz as Larson slashes and puts it back in.
Great back cut by Larson and a great find by Zenz.
Nice find and great back cut like Dan said. Peterson gets it over to Gorgon. Or Burkhalter, excuse me. Man, I keep mixing those guys up. They actually do kind of look alike. Burkhalter. Over to Scout. Over to Ginn. Down low to Newman. He tries to do that post-up move, and it goes down and out as Dustin Zenz will look to push it across court. Gets it over to Kruba. Farnsworth thought about the 3. Instead, he'll step back. Gets it to I thought he was going to do a little step-back jack here.
I thought he was going to pop it from like 6 feet beyond the three-point line, to be honest with you.
So Zenz will get it back. And Larson, not known for taking deep point shots, won't decide not to as Larson, little post-up move. Ball thrown up in the air, gets it to Kruba, over to Zenz. They're just going to try to get things set here as Larson jacks up a 3 of his own. Deep 3 is good. And that gives the Vikings a 1-point lead. Dan, just like I said, Larson doesn't usually attempt deep 3s, and Larson just swished it, nothing but net.
We had the perfect view for that one. See the splash.
Ginn over to Peterson. Peterson gonna not give it to Scout. Farnsworth lost his player for a little bit. Instead, they're playing zone and a push foul on the Thunderbirds as we got 1:27 left in this first half. A relatively low scoring affair here, 24 to 23. Vikings with a 1-point lead, and no substitutions so far for the Vikings, but a couple of substitutions for the Thunderbirds. Dan, go ahead.
Great call by the refs there. He pushed his arm out just to get his defender out of the way, and easy call for the refs.
Like I said before, Dan, the refs are really focusing on all levels of basketball, focusing on push-offs. I saw a little article on ESPN about that, taking looking more carefully at that, and looks like it's rubbing off on these referees down here at the high school level. They're going to try to kick it out to Farnsworth. He'll jack up a 3 from his range, and that is good. Bryce Farnsworth is lighting it up from 3.
I believe he's either 2 for 2 from downtown or 2 for 3.
That seems accurate, 2 for 2 from downtown or 2 for 3. As Newman gets it over to Burkhalter, the honorable mention all-conference.
Just like that, as you were saying, well, 27 to 23 with 43 seconds. I believe it's an 8-0 run by the Vikings, including 2 threes from
Nortman playing some solid defense. Carpenter guarded by Farnsworth. Farnsworth not giving up an inch. As Peterson, they look like they're trying to take the last shot. They're calling for a screen on Zenz. No, just directing offense was Peterson over to Scout. Vikings playing some solid defense here. Nortman guarding Scout. 19 seconds left, 18 seconds left. Pass over to Burkhalter, over to Peterson. Man, they are taking their long time trying to get a shot off. Maybe a A pick by Newman.
Vikings doing a great job for
5
being on
seconds
defense.
left. Burkhalter gonna jack up a mid-range J. Shot is no good. Bryce Farnsworth will let one go, and that just about went in.
Great job, great defensive stand by the Vikings, for being on defense for, gosh, I'd say about a minute.
So the Vikings take a 4-point lead in the halftime, and a little break, so the Vikings will get a little breather here. We'll get another breather as well, and when we come back, we'll have some halftime analysis and stats and some adjustments the Vikings need to make here in the second half. You've been listening to Wisco Radio. Don't tune away, folks. We've had a fantastic one so far. We're going to have a fantastic ending, so don't tune away.
The GrandStay Hotel and Suites is a brand new hotel in Mount Horeb. The GrandStay caters to businesses and leisure travelers and is ideal for individuals and families. In a convenient location near Madison, GrandStay is also a great option for guests visiting neighboring Barneveld or Epic Systems in Verona. We offer clean, comfortable rooms, free hot breakfast, an indoor pool, hot tub, and a 24-hour fitness center. To see pictures, visit GrandStayMountHoreb.com or book online or call today 608-437-5200 to make your reservation.
You are listening to Wisco Radio.
Focused Dog Training provides comprehensive, lasting dog training for families. We offer a suite of high-touch training services that allow us to tailor our approach to your specific needs and produce results regardless of your dog's age, breed, and prior training history. We stand behind our training methods and guarantee that Focused Dog Training will be your trainer for life. Call us at 855-636-2873 or visit FocusedDogTraining.com to learn more about your free in-home consultation. Focused Dog Training, focused on helping families one dog at a time.
Find all previous stats, replays of past games, and weekly podcasts covering all Vikings athletic action by going to wiscoradio.com and clicking under the Archives podcast tab.
Hey sports fans, be sure to cheer on your local sports team just like Kittleson Landscape has for over 25 years. Like many of you, Craig and his team have students and athletes in the Mount Horeb schools and are dedicated to their success and the overall success of the athletic programs. Need a place to go and unwind after the big game? Kittleson Landscape specializes in outdoor fire pits, patios, and much more. To get your free estimate today, call 608-437-8845. Hope you enjoy the game, brought to you by Kittleson Landscape. Go Vikings!
You're listening to Wisco Radio, the leader in Mount Horeb Prep Athletics.
When the stadium lights go on, you know it's time for Mount Horeb Barneveld football, and that's where you'll find Mark Norman and Associates. As a parent and local business owner, Mark knows the importance of supporting high school athletics, the athletic program, and Mount Horeb Barneveld football. Mark Norman and Associates also knows the importance of buying or selling your property. At First Weber of Mount Horeb, Mark Norman and Associates want to help you find the perfect home in the area, whether it be in the town or in the country. For the expertise and the experience you need, call 608-575-3393 or visit them online, marknorman.firstweber.com.
Can't make it to the game? Catch it live on WiscoRadio.com or download our mobile app on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp. Get started with your idea. Call for free information.
Call 1-800-461-2844. That's 1-800-461-2844.
You're listening to Wisco Radio, the leader in Mount Horeb Prep Athletics.
And welcome back here to Wisco Radio and Baraboo High School as your Vikings have a 4-point lead at halftime. So, Dan, a surprisingly low-scoring first half here, but the Vikings still have a 4-point lead, and that's a good sign because Bryce Farnsworth has been knocking down some deep three-point shots, and that's really been keeping the Vikings in this game.
As you're saying, some knockdown threes from Farnsworth. Both Farnsworth and Larson have contributed from beyond the arc, and that was one of our keys to the game, and I would say they are fulfilling that. But one thing they are not doing the greatest on is offensive boards. allowing offensive boards.
And that's kind of been the story of the season as of right now. Vikings not the best offensive defensive boarding team. They've allowed a lot. I mean, I don't quite know the exact statistic here, but the past couple games that the Vikings have played, I'm very confident that they have been out-rebounded by the opposing team. Last game, I know for sure that they were out-rebounded by Monona Grove. And most of the times when the Vikings have been out-rebounded, they have not won the games. A couple three that I think of is the DeForest, Monona Grove, and actually Beaver Dam game that they've lost. All of those games, they were out-rebounded offensively and defensively, so that's something they're going to need to clean up here in the second half. They're going to want to pull away and come away with this W here. But, Dan, I'm not going to lie, I was a little surprised. The Vikings are the number 2 team right now in the Badger North, and they're only up by 4 against Baraboo, who's in last place of the Badger North. But that kind of just shows you should be ready for anything at any time.
That kind of proves, I guess you could say, my 15 versus 2 analysis, where any team can beat any team. I know we typically say that quite a bit, but it really can be that way. Any team can beat any team on any given night, no matter how.
Any team can be beaten on any given night, I believe, is the saying, Dan. And that's extremely true. That showed here in the first half. The Vikings, I'm very confident in believing that they thought that they didn't think they would be in a position that they were, being down to Baraboo, and they responded here with a 4-point lead at halftime. I'm sure Coach Nessheim is chewing their butts up a little bit about those defensive boards that they must get. Also, offensive board, you need to box out a little bit better, get down low and get your rear end in there, box them out both offensively and defensively. Get that rebound back, protect that ball, and also, Dan, like you said, free throws haven't really been a problem. One miss so far, but that's not necessarily a big deal.
Not many opportunities from the line either.
No,
only 4 or 5 team fouls over the half by Baraboo.
That was actually about what I was about to say. I mean, you're not given many opportunities, and if you're not given many opportunities, that's not really your fault. If you can't make a bunch because you're not at the line. I believe they're I would say 1 of 2 from the line.
Either that, I was thinking 3 or 4, but
1 of 2, 3 or 4, something like that.
I don't know if they've been to the line 4 times.
So either 50% or 75% from the line. Just some quick math in my head there. 4-point lead, 3:44 left in this little halftime show we got here. Dan, adjustments, like you said, they're going to need to get those offensive and defensive boards, but I think they've been playing pretty solid bench right now. Coach Nessheim going down to his 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even his 10 guys. And they've been playing pretty darn well, just haven't scored much. But they got a couple good minutes here. The Vikings up by 4 here as our one Dan Linz is getting some word from the one and only Mr. Farnsworth, Bryce Farnsworth's father. We got 3:05 left in our little pregame show here. If there was anything I had to kind of poke at, like I said, it would be getting to the line more. This team has proven that they can get to the line. Dan, I was saying this team has proven that they can get to the line, and if they can get more chances at the free throw line to get maybe all 3 aspects of this game going. It's offense. I guess it's technically offensive. But, I mean, scoring from, I don't know what you call. When you're shooting a free throw, I don't know what you call that, really. So, basically, scoring from the free throw line, 3-pointers. 3-pointers haven't been a problem right now. I think they're kind of, actually, they've only missed 1. And that was Larson's deep, one of his deep threes. That was short and rebounded. It ended up, and Larson got a little layup. So, not a negative possession there for the Vikings. Overall, just protect the ball. And, Dan, you got anything to tell us?
Just one key change, you already said it, is just clean up the boards and get some boards, and we should be sitting pretty, as I like to say.
And it's not just me. Like, I mean, this team is more than capable of getting offensive rebounds. And honestly, it doesn't matter. It could be the tallest person or people in Jason Larson and Bryce Farnsworth getting a rebound. It also could be the shortest people, like in the starting lineup, like Dustin Zenz and I mean, Dylan Pierce, all you have to do is get low enough, box out, and jump up with 2 hands, and you can get a rebound. I would say 98% of the chance where you do that, you will get that rebound. Unless you're going against a guy like 7'6", like Yao Ming, then the odds of you getting a rebound like that are probably extremely low. We got 1:15 left here in the halftime show. I'm going to keep it here because, I mean, just a minute left, and I'm going to keep rambling. Dan, defensively, the Vikings have been very good using, I mean, we saw a lot of times they were kind of forcing players at that half-court line, using it as another defender. Also, I mean, we've been seeing that so far this season, using the baseline as a defender, and that's becoming more apparent in basketball these days because why not use it? It's kind of like a free defender or a free defender. You just kind of push him out, not push him out of bounds, but kind of utilize that. And that's the Vikings are going to, they've been playing some decent ball right now, just need to clean up the small things, and they should be good to go to come away with the W tonight. But it all starts on defense, which I believe is where they'll start here in the second half, if my memory serves me correct.
Yes, I believe you're right.
So, I mean, don't trust that 100% of the time. Maybe my judgment isn't the best at all times, but usually I'm pretty okay. I'm not going to give myself fantastic. Okay. So we got the start of the second half is up and coming here, as we got Newman will try to get it in to Peterson, but a little quick pressure by the Vikings. Newman's going to have to lob it in. Bryce Farnsworth tried to pick it off, and the ball is corralled by Scout. Scout will get it over to the notable mentions Burkhalter, as Newman's little fadeaway shot is good. So Newman gets right into the act. Excuse me, I added wrong points to the wrong team. So we got a 2-point game right now with your Vikings on top. Farnsworth thought about the 3, got his defender in the air. Number 22, Caden Montpas. Excuse me if I butchered that name. No, it's not Montpas. It's Gorgon, number 23. Jeez, I can't see, Dan. Maybe need to get my eyes checked. Larson rises for 3. His shot is no good. Rebound by Tyler Kruba. Tyler Kruba is going to try to just a little shovel pass into Gunnar Nortman. Fights his way open and lays it up and in.
Great job playing bully ball, as I like to call it. Kind of pushing his defender out.
Kind of fighting your way in there, right?
For the easy deuce.
As Gorgon will get it over to Scout, who gets it over to Burkhalter, who jacks up a 3. Maybe a little quick trigger, and that shot is no good. Rebound by Bryce Farnsworth. Gunnar Nortman looking to slash, kicks over to Tyler Kruba. Nice baseline drive, kick out to Jason Larson. And maybe Kruba, if he would have finished, had a shot at that. Ooh, nice athletic finish by Gunnar Nortman.
Great job by Larson, I believe it was. Drawing Nortman's defender is in for the easy dump off to Nortman for the nice finish.
So Scout guarded by Farnsworth, number 3 guarded by number 3 as Peterson. Newman going to try to go to work down low, kick it out to Gorgon, over to Scout, whose 3-point shot is long, no good. Rebound by Newman, who bullies his way down low, as Dan said. Rebound by Larson. Off the carom. Zen's almost lost the ball. Farnsworth open for 3. His shot is up, and that shot is no good off of the backboard.
As that would be Farnsworth's first miss from downtown, I believe.
First miss from downtown, but he's made 2 others, so I'm not going to argue with that.
And the Vikings started out hot from downtown to start the first half, and they're 0 for 2 to start the second, so we'll see if that plays a role.
0 for 2, but they can rebound. Third time I've used that joke this what do you call it? Not a podcast this day, but nice little cutting. Burkhalter lays it up and in, and we got a 4-point game. Kruba over to Larson. Larson going to try, Farnsworth, nice little strong cut. Pass is picked off by Gorgon. Over to Peterson. Maybe a little lazy, lousy pass there by Zenz. Newman trying to get his way down low. Double teamed by Larson and Farnsworth. And a foul called on the shot, so Newman will be at the free throw line shooting 2. Maybe a controversial call.
Farnsworth's first foul for the game, so he's not in foul trouble. So
Farnsworth was kind of out of words, didn't know what to say, as Newman is going to kind of shuffle his feet for his first free throw is no good.
As Owen Ziegler checks in for Tyler Kruba.
So sophomore for senior. As Ziegler checks in, as Dan said, for Kruba. Newman's second free throw is no good.
0 for 2
So
from
it
the
goes
line.
0 for 2 from the free throw line.
Could have made it a 2-point game, so the Vikings can stretch this to a 7-point lead.
As Larson a little bit through the legs over to Zenz, trying to get it down low to Farnsworth. Got reasonable height advantage. Jeez, I couldn't get the word out. And Dustin Zenz, not the prettiest of shots, but he gets it to drop, and it'll go back to a 6-point lead for your Vikings.
Great job on the finish from Zenz.
Kind of a little up and under, Dan, there by Zenz, and he got the lucky bounces. Burkhalter rises for 3. His shot is no good, but geez, another offensive rebound and a timeout, a 30-second timeout called by Baraboo, and just another offensive rebound. I don't want to call it offensive rebound because it wasn't necessarily a rebound. The ball was kind of floating around in the area, and Baraboo happened to jump on it.
I believe if you would consider that an offensive rebound, that would be Baraboo's 5th for the game, so not something Coach Nessheim would be happy about.
Not something he'll be happy about indeed. And like we said, Dan, in the halftime report, that's an adjustment the Vikings need to make, and so far the adjustment hasn't been to Coach Nessheim's liking, as the horn will sound and the Vikings will have to take court. That was the first horn. Or excuse me, was that the second horn? I have no idea.
That was the second horn.
Second horn. And it'll be Thunderbird ball. Inbound pass to Scout, who's guarded right at half court by Ziegler. Over to Gorgon. Over to Carpenter. Back to Scout. Scout looking to try to get down low to Peterson's got a major height advantage over Zenz. The 5'11" guy over the 6'3", cut off by Dustin Zenz. Good defense, and a reach-in foul called on Carpenter, so that'll be his first.
Great job by Zenz not giving up an inch, even though he, in a way, gives up 4 inches. He wasn't giving up an inch on defense and standing strong. And
not giving up an inch on defense was Zenz. So he'll get it across the half-court line. Picked up his dribble. Got Jason Larson, calls for the screen, lob pass into Nortman. I think they were trying to run the 3-point shot play as Dustin Zenz splashes a 3.
I don't remember you saying those words at all this year. Dustin Zenz for 3, so may not be a 3-point shooter, but showed he was there.
May not be the biggest 3-point shooter on the team, but he can sure knock him down. Little baseline move by Gorgon, no good. Kick out to Bloom. Back to Scout. Bloom just recently checked in. As Gorgon guarded by Nortman, over to Carpenter, guarded by Larson. Not giving up an inch, knowing this team isn't the best at 3-point shooting, so they're laying off a little bit. Scout guarded by Ziegler, down low to Peterson. Got a height advantage. Ball off of Peterson, they say, and that'll be a turnover by the Thunderbirds.
Zenz really showing his defensive tenacity. Fancy word there I used well.
Tenacity. Wow. I wonder how. Can you clap those syllables out?
If you ask me to spell it, I would say I have no idea.
Tenacity. Yep, this is exactly what they're doing now. They're going to try to get Farnsworth open. Good job. Sniffing that out was Peterson. Ziegler's baseline drive is cut off as Larson bangs his way down low. Ziegler finds himself wide open for 3. His shot is good.
Owen Stephen Curry Ziegler for 3.
As his younger brother Eli is going nuts up there.
And a timeout by the Thunderbirds. Full timeout. What do you say we take a break? Will?
I say we'll take a little break as well. When we come back, there'll be some more action in basketball, so don't tune away, folks. This will be another great finish.
Whatever the occasion, the Grumpy Troll is the perfect location to meet friends, family, or business associates. Located at 105 South 2nd Street in Mount Horeb's historic Creamery building, the Grumpy Troll is Mount Horeb's dining destination. You'll experience a relaxed and casual dining experience along with favorites such as the Grump Chips or the Oofta Pretzel. The second level is home to Grumpy Troll's award-winning specialty pizza, including Cosmic Swirl, Piggy Pie, and their traditional Grumpy Troll pizza. Stop in today.
This is Wisco Radio.
And a welcome back from a quick break. You're listening to Wisco Radio. Man, Dan, I couldn't get the word "your" out of my mouth today. So a little slow day for me, but that's why I got Dan Lenz here, and also the usual cameraman Carter Kuhn back helping us out here after a good Forte show. He said he had, so congrats, Carter, on finishing the year in Forte. As the Thunderbirds get the ball back, Nortman guarded by Larson. Down low to Bloom. His little baseline J is no good. Rebound by Nortman. Two-handed rebound that time, Dan. Notice, two-handed rebound by Nortman. He usually likes to do those one-handed. So nice adjustment by Nortman to grab it with two hands. Nice little baseline move. And he stepped out of bounds. So that'll be a turnover by Vikings.
Even regardless of the turnover, it's still a 39-27 lead for your Mount Horeb Vikings with 12:32 left in the ballgame.
So I believe they're on like a 15-0 run, if that's accurate at all. Don't quote me on that, but excuse me, a little bit of a scoring drought for the Thunderbirds as Peterson will trot it across the court line as Gorgon over to Mason Peterson's shot is off the backboard, no good. Zenz will rush it over to Ziegler, who stopped. Wide open lane, his floater is short, no good. Off of Newman as Nortman almost picked the ball off. Instead, Peterson will rush it across, gets it to Calvin Peterson, over to Carpenter. Little stutter step move over to Gorgon, over to Newman. He'll try to drive it to the hole. His shot, or not, he didn't take a shot. Peterson will drive it to the hole. His floater is up and no good, man. The Thunderbirds couldn't buy a basket if they wanted to.
I like to say there's a lid on the basket for the Thunderbirds.
Just a lid on the basket. That's a good saying there, Dan. Zenz over to Nortman, guarded by Newman. Give him a little range there, Farnsworth. Guarded by Peterson. Nice little cut by Larson. Good job to save the ball.
Great athletic play by Larson.
Kept the foot in bounds, did Larson, as Farnsworth fakes the handoff, now gets it to Ziegler. Double teaming Ziegler, gives Farnsworth wide open. His three-point shot is short, no good. And that's interesting. You don't usually see Farnsworth miss those shots. But I guess
he's human, I guess.
I guess he knocks him. He knocks down a couple of them in the game. Peterson guarded by Zenz. Peterson.
As Tyler Krubal looks to check in for the Vikings.
And Newman sets his feet for three, and a quick trigger, and he nails the three. And they say the score is 30. And I don't understand. Oh, no, that makes sense. 27 is Ziegler's three-point shot is short, no good. Fighting for the rebound is Farnsworth, but he fouls.
Don't quote me on this, but I believe that is Farnsworth's second.
His second. It is his second.
As Charlie Fish and Krubal check in for Nortman and Larson. Vikings with 3 fouls now for the half, as opposed to just one for the Thunderbirds.
So, a 39-30 game here. Your Vikings lead it by 9, as the Thunderbirds trying to cut into that deficit here. Kick out to Scout. His mid-range J is no good. Rebound by Bryce Farnsworth.
Great box out.
Or Krubal tried to rush it, as Zenz, nice little drive to the hole, and his shot is blocked, but I'd say Newman got a piece of it, so Zenz will not be at the free throw line. They call it on the floor foul, so they'll be inbounding it. Zenz will look to just try to lob it up to Farnsworth. They're going to get it into Farnsworth. Open baseline. He'll go put his body into it. His shot is short, no good. And a rebound by Burke. Excuse me, yeah,
Burkhalter.
Burkenthaler. Ugh. As Bryce Farnsworth will look to push, has numbers, had an open Zenz. Didn't see him, and he turns it over. Not the best, and Coach Nessheim not happy. He'll keep him in. Keeps his composure. Good job, Ness. Burkhalter. Geez, I'm sorry. I don't know why I couldn't pronounce that name, Dan.
It happens to the best of them, Will.
been thinking of Schwarkenthaler from the last game for Monona Grove and just can't pronounce Burkhalter. As Burkhalter's three-point shot is short, no good. As the ball goes off of Tyler Kruba's hands. Dustin Zen's athletic layup, no good. And off of Dustin Zen's. Wow, what a controversial call.
As Nortman checks in for Farnsworth. I believe, my personal opinion, that was the right call, but it may not have been. But
I mean, it's not easy for us to tell. We're a little higher up, but that looked to be off of a Baraboo Thunderbird.
I think they just called it Thunderbird's ball because it
was unconclusive.
I think they just called it Thunderbird's ball because of
I understand
Zen's catching it, but that's
as
just
a
my
three-point shot by Gorgon, no good, and an over-the-back call.
That's just my how do I say that?
Uneducated guess.
Yes.
30-39. Your Vikings with a 9-point lead with 9:12 left in the second half.
As Newman was whistled for the foul, his first of the game, second for the half for the Thunderbirds.
So Zen's gonna get a screen from Ziegler. Back over to Zen's. 3-second violation in the lane. Gunnar Nortman just didn't keep counting his head. Happens to the best of us, and it'll be an offensive turnover. Man, Dan, couple turnovers here. Turnover-filled second half.
Vikings really got to get a stop here. It could be a 6-point game, and
could be a 6-point game.
Could be a turn of events for the Vikings.
Could be a momentum change here in favor of the Thunderbirds. As Peterson, guarded by Zenz, the much shorter, gets over to Burkhalter to Scout down low to Gorgon, out to Newman. He finds himself open, takes a drive to the hole. Shot is good, and the foul. So he'll be at the free throw line trying to earn a 3-point play as Newman. Tough drive to the hole pays off, and Larson looked to check back in for Tyler Kruba, I believe, is guilty of the foul. Nope, they call Charlie Fish the guilty of the foul, and Dan, just like that, there's a chance of a 6-point game and a complete momentum shift if Newman puts this one in. That looks short, but it is good. So Newman makes this a 6-point game.
Little 6-0 spurt. Vikings really got to score here to make this.
Need a bucket to put more pressure on Baraboo to come down the court every chance and make buckets. Larson over to Ziegler, guarded by Gorgon. Zen's going to try to pound his way down low against Scout. The shorty, not shorty, the 5'11", doesn't get to go as Gorgon, there's Newman trying to, guarded by Zen's. Nice little kick out as Gorgon's 3-point shot is up and good.
And just like that, we got a 3-point game, folks. 9-0 runners. Nestheim calls a 30-second timeout. 39-36, your score. Mount Horeb Vikings clinging on to the lead with 8:03 left in the game.
And 3-point lead, they are clinging to it, a little scoring drought. And sorry, Dustin, if I called you shorty. It's just against the 6'3" or 6'4" guy. Anybody who's under 6 foot tends to look a little short. So it's nothing. I'm not making fun of you. It's just accidentally slipped out of my mouth, Dan. Maybe not some stuff that comes out of my mouth. Maybe not all the time is very intelligent. So that's what I have you and Carter here for, to correct me when I make stupid mistakes. So my apologies, Dustin. Man, Dan, like you said, 3-point opportunity by Newman made it a 3-point or a 6-point game, and now it's just a 3-point game.
As I believe Farnsworth checked in for Ziegler. Shooter for shooter.
So shooter for shooter indeed. And the Vikings need a basket. A little bit of a shooting or scoring draw over to Fish, guarded by Peterson. Farnsworth looking to slash. Oh, he was wide open. Fish didn't see him. Nice little screen by Nortman. Pass deflected by Gorgon. Farnsworth over to Zenz. Not a deep 3-point shooter. Trying to get it down low to Larson. Has the height advantage against Newman, the 6'3" against the 6-footer. Farnsworth's going to try to drive it to the hole. His shot is up and banked home. So Farnsworth ends a little scoring drought. Much needed bucket for the Vikings.
Give the Vikings a little breathing or make it a 41-36 game with 7 minutes and 20 seconds left.
So Scout over to to Gorgon, who's guarding by Fish, and Fish reaches in, and that'll be a foul every single time.
As I believe that is Fish's second as a Thunderbird looks to check in.
So the Vikings only have 2 more fouls before the Thunderbirds are in the bonus.
Caden Carpenter checks in for Austin Burkhalter.
Austin Burkhalter. As Newman will get it in to Scout. Back to Newman. He'll slash. Try to get himself open with a behind-the-back pass. Little lob pass up, and that'll be a over and back over the Thunderbirds. So a turnover, and the Vikings have a chance to stretch that lead.
Vikings, a 3 would be crucial here. Get it to a...
You don't necessarily need a 3, but Dan, yes, a 3-point shot would be good in that.
Get it to a 8-point lead, I think.
Yes, an 8-point lead as Nortman tried to bang his way down low, and he is fouled, so will not be at the free throw line. Geez, Dan, I just immediately think every single foul involves people going to the free throw line. Maybe playing a little bit too much NBA 2K, NBA Mobile. Need to inbound it. That's a 5-second.
Call a timeout. Wise decision by the junior.
Good job.
30-second timeout.
Good job by Zenz even to get a timeout called. Tough defense by the Thunderbirds. So a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here with a 5-point lead for the Vikings as I thought the score was different. Dan, I must be going crazy tonight. I keep thinking the score is changing, and it's not. So there's a legit chance I am going crazy. I don't know, Dan. Oh, jeez. Or maybe I just can't do math. I might need a little bit more help from Miss Lemke, my Algebra 2 teacher. What do you think, Dan?
Brad, if you're listening, I am sorry. I do not know how many Bryce Farnsworth has.
My belief is Farnsworth has 2, Brad, so I should have you covered there. As Zenz will try to get it in, finds Kruba. Nice athletic play even to get it out as Larson sets his feet for 3, and his shot is good.
8-point lead for the Vikings, 44-36.
As Peterson gets it over to Gorgon, guarded by Kruba. Defense kind of tightening down for the Vikings. As Scout had some time to think about a 3, decided not to take it as Newman. Almost shuffling the feet was Gorgon. Pass picked off by Dustin Zenz as Larson will go up the court and scores.
Just like that, it's a 10-point game. 46-36 with 6 minutes and 18 seconds left.
What a little swing or change of events for your Vikings. Here is the pass. Karam's out of bounds. That'll be a turnover. Thunderbirds.
As the Viking faithful is getting a little loud in the Thunderbirds.
It's getting a little
Thunderdome, I believe
a little loud and then just dead silent here, Dan. But good show up by this Vikings crowd. The Vikings will look to try to extend the lead past 10 for the first time tonight. I believe this is the largest lead of the game for the Vikings as Norman will try to pound his way down low. His shot, his little fadeaway is up and good. So the Vikings stretch the lead to 12 points.
Great little fadeaway there by Norman. I can remember him shooting that shot since freshman year.
Since freshman year. He's been on varsity that long. Seems like a veteran. As Kruba guarding Gorgon, his little runner is good, plus the foul, so he'll be at the free throw line. Trying to earn a 3-point play is Gorgon.
Great shot there, fighting through the defense with a little running hook.
Kruba's first foul, so he is in no way, shape, or form in foul trouble. It's Gorgon's his free throw is good, completing the 3-point play.
16 fouls for the Vikings, so something they got to be a little
16 fouls, I believe. Yep, they are in the bonus. Yes. So it is 6 fouls. That is the bonus.
I always think it's 7 for some odd reason, but guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you are wrong, Dan. As Kruba, he's going to get it to Farnsworth. Farnsworth over to Larson, who just hit a 3, over to Zenz, guarded by Scout. Back to Larson, over to Nortman. Back to Larson. Zenz thought about posting up. Farnsworth was open a little bit. Didn't quite see him. Zenz Little between the legs, drive to the lane, up short, no good.
Great crossover though.
Crossover as Peterson launches for three. His shot is long, no good. Norman looking to push, got to be careful from behind. Gorgon is there as Farnsworth, his shot no good, but he'll be at the free throw line shooting two, and he's upset with himself.
I was going to say those exact words, Will. You're finishing my sentences, Will. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Farnsworth's first free throw is up.
And good.
Stretching in lead to 49-39 with just a shade under 5 minutes. Second free throw on the way is up and
money. Bryce Farnsworth, two of two from the free throw line, or the charity stripe, whatever you want to call it. So Farnsworth doing some damage at the free throw line. If you want to call it damage at all, I don't know why I said damage. As Scout will get it down low to Newman. He'll try to go to work down low in the post. Guarded by Jason Larson. His shot is up, no good.
Got a wide open Farnsworth down court, like not to
wide open
touchdown pass to
trying
him.
A little home run pass. Over to Farnsworth. Little step back jack by Farnsworth. His shot is short, no good. And Kruba does the smart thing. Farnsworth goes up and under. His shot is no good, but he'll be back at the free throw line, where he'll try to go 4 of 4 in the past couple minutes here.
Great job by Farnsworth expecting the contact as Ethan Post looks to check in for...
So a fellow sophomore of yours, Dan.
Looks in to check in for somebody, and a timeout by one of the two head coaches.
Of which team, Dan?
I have absolutely
no
clue.
Did they call a full timeout?
I did not see that. So we'll just keep it here regardless.
We'll keep it here anyway. Just a little recap here.
Looks like Post checked in for... Geez, I don't know. Zen. That's who it was.
Sorry folks, I just cracked myself up a little bit. As we got a 11-point game here. Your Vikings lead it. Their largest lead of the game, Dan, I believe, is 12, so they're just a little shy of that. Just 1 point shy, excuse me.
Beautiful math, Will.
I know, right? My mother and all my math teachers will be proud.
I was going to say, son of a math teacher. Son of a math teacher, you better be pretty darn good at math.
You got to be good at doing a little simple subtraction or addition.
As Farnsworth looks to go 4 for 4, as you were saying, from the line and stretches to a 13-point lead.
Farnsworth, cool, calm, and collective. Got a little Kleenex in his nose. Maybe got a bloody nose. His first free throw rattles out, no good.
And I jinxed him, Will.
You did, so I blame you for him missing. We got 4:23 left in the second half. Farnsworth looking to make adjustments. He does. His shot is money. Second shot is good, so he makes quick adjustments.
Checks in for Post, so quick little stint for Post. But, hey, you can say you got his name in thus.
Say you got some varsity playing time as, geez, I've been keeping the clock running this entire time. So that is absolutely, positively my fault. I'll look to try to fix that here. If my phone wasn't so silly, but we got Burkhalter, skip pass over to Peterson. His three-point shot is good. So Peterson gets a three-point bucket as your Vikings are up by 9. Some more mental math there, Dan. Is Gunnar Nortman guarded by Burkhalter. Had a cutting Kruba, didn't see him. Nice tough drive to the hole, and his shot is up and good. Kind of bulldozed his way in there, Dan.
Great job regaining possession of the ball. Looked like he almost got it like stuck or lost it a little bit, but
kind of like picked it off of his hip. As Gorgon lost control of it, trying to get it down low to Newman. He'll take it himself to the hole. Shot no good. Rebound by Jason Larson, who gets it over to Dustin Zenz. Zenz guarded by Mason Peterson. Little between the legs or behind the back. Oh, nice little spin move by Jason Larson. Euro step almost got it, and he'll turn the ball over. So
much to the dismay of Coach Nessheim, but still 11-point lead, 53-42 with 3 minutes left in the game.
3 minutes on the dot left in the game. Behind the back, potentially a travel call, baseline drive, and that'll go out of bounds. They say off of Nortman, so the Thunderbirds will retain possession of the ball.
Mount Horeb fans were really
Mount Horeb faithful in disagreement I don't know what you say for that.
Pleading for a push-off.
Pleading for a push, they say, or Dan says, so I'll agree with that. As Gorgon over to Burkhalter. He'll try to get it to Newman. That little hot pass is too hot for Newman to corral. And that'll be a turnover, Thunderbirds.
Doing a little quick count, the Vikings have gotten in 10 guys this game as Ziegler checks in for Tyler Kruba.
The horn is honking a little bit. Some more substitutions being made for your Vikings. As Owen Ziegler checked in for the game as Zenz will get it right into Ziegler, no problem. As Gorgon tried to apply some pressure, instead backs off. Scout will come up to Zenz. Zenz finds himself wide open, instead decides to go out of it as Nortman, they're just playing a little keep away ball here. Don't want to turn it over close to the half court line. Nortman splits the D and is reach and foul against the Thunderbirds. And not quite in the bonus. Now the Vikings are in the bonus, so for now on they'll be shooting a 1-and-1 for the rest of the game as Nortman thought he picked up his dribble. He did. Double dribble, they call.
As 3 new Thunderbirds look to check in.
Or just a quick rest for Peterson, Newman, and Burkhalter. As Peterson will get it in to Gorgon. He'll get it across the half-court line. Gorgon, little crossover move on Owen Ziegler. Owen Ziegler staying tough, though, not giving up an inch. Over to Calvin Peterson, who launches from 3, and that's a deep 3 that Calvin Peterson knocked down. The announcer said Craig Peterson. That is not accurate. So surprisingly, I'm correct. So a full timeout by Baraboo. We'll take one as well. When we come back, we'll have, hopefully, wrap up this game. You've been listening to Wisco Radio. Don't tune away, folks. We'll have a fantastic ending if you stay tuned.
Are you in need of chiropractic services? Dr. Joe Ryan at Mount Horeb Chiropractic will provide the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. Dr. Ryan uses advanced spinal correction and chiropractic adjustments utilizing state-of-the-art techniques. Dr. Ryan has years of training, expertise, and experience in helping patients get relief from their back pain, neck pain, and other related conditions. Located at 1840 Business Highway 18151 next to Pizza Hut, or call 608-437-0099 to set up an appointment today.
You are listening to Vikings basketball right here on Wisco Radio.
And welcome back here to Wisco Radio. 2:01 left in the second half. Your Vikings with an 8-point lead here. And with the ball, they're looking to play some full court pressure here. Are the Thunderbirds on the Vikings? Looks like they're going to have Farnsworth be the streaker. Usually they have him over there. They're going to have him streak down, and that's exactly what he does. Is wide open if they want to do a home run pass. Zenz instead bounces it in, and a foul on Carpenter. So
taking a second off the clock.
Taking a quick, precious second off of the clock. So Larson will be at the charity stripe to try to make this a 10-point lead again for your Mount Horeb Vikings here. 8-point lead, as I said, with 2 minutes left to go in this game. So we're not done here. We got 2 minutes left. Not a large lead, or Ziegler will be at the free throw line. Tried to sneak Larson there. A little trickery did maybe Coach Nessheimer, a little confusion. 1-and-1 we got here is Ziegler. He'll get ready to set at the free throw line. His first free throw is up, and that is no good. Rebound by Newman. So the Thunderbirds only down by 8.
Vikings are the first to 50.
Burkhalter, Gorgon will jack up a 3. His shot is back iron, no good. Tough rebound by Bryce Farnsworth. And Newman pokes it out from behind, and that'll be a foul on Newman. So Farnsworth will be at the free throw line.
As Kerbal looks to check in for Ziegler. Vikings first to 50, Will, something you always like to happen. You
Vikings first to 50. I usually say the first to 50 wins the game. Vikings are first to 50, but we're not done here. 1:41 left in the second half. Farnsworth at the free throw line shooting a 1-and-1. His first free throw is up and not pretty, but it goes in.
9-point lead now, 54-45 with 1:41 left.
Farnsworth ready for his second one. He'll try to make adjustments here. He's second one. Releases is no good, and tough rebound by Newman. A little behind the back by Newman. Lob pass over to Burkhalter, back to Newman. Double team by Kruba. Burkhalter, he's going to drive tough to the hole. His layup is short, no good. Rebound by Dustin Zenz, and he'll be fouled, so he'll be going to the free throw line, and he'll be shooting 2. And Dan, while we have the time, I'm giving a quick shout out to my grandparents and my sister who are listening to us down in Florida with some nice warm weather. They're down there with the 70-degree weather, and we're stuck up here with like 20 and below zero weather. So Zenz's first free throw is not pretty, but that is up and good. So here's your shout out, Grandma, Grandpa, and also Gracie. There's your shout out. 1:19 left in this second half game. Vikings, Zen's couple clutch free throws puts the Vikings up by 11. So you'll assume that the Thunderbirds are going to try to get off some quick three-pointers. Peterson will step back, kick over to Calvin Peterson. His three-point shot is up and good. So no timeout call and foul call, quick foul.
56-48 with just a tad bit over a minute left. We'll see if the Vikings can make it back to a 10-point lead.
The Vikings are in a double bonus here, so they'll be shooting 2 for the rest of the way. So Farnsworth will be shooting 2 no matter what, and he'll look to as his first free throw couldn't be more nothing but net. As Farnsworth, he'll be set from the free throw line. His second free throw is up and money, so he brings it back to a 10-point lead with 1 minute flat left on the clock. Thunderbirds, little desperation here as Gorgon will drive to the hole, kick it out to Peterson. Peterson, he'll jack up a 3. His shot is long, no good, and Gorgon will go up for the rebound, and he will be fouled, so he'll be at the free throw line shooting 1-and-1.
Don't quote me on this, but I believe the Vikings have only missed 1 or 2 free throws this whole game as Ziegler checks back in for...
Or is getting ready to check back in for Kruba, it appears.
The ref said, wait a minute there. And
wait a minute, we got a 1-and-1 going on here, so you can check in after this as Gorgon's first free throw is just enough to get it in the net.
As Ziegler checks in for Kruba.
So we got a 9-point lead. Jeez. Ugh, that was almost bad for me. So Gorgon is going to look to make it an 8-point lead, and his second free throw is up and good. So Gorgon, some solid free throws as Zenzel run the baseline, gets it into Nortman. That's a good person you want at the free throw line. And he'll be at the free throw line shooting 2. Like I said, Vikings in double bonus with 44.9 left. They'll look to try to make it a 10-point lead again as Gunnar Nortman. He'll be at the free throw line. These are some important free throws, Dan. It's an 8-point lead with 44 seconds left. We've seen crazy things happen in high school basketball. So these are some big free throws here by Nortman. His first free throw is absolutely money.
As Kruba checks back in for Ziegler, so
back to a 9-point lead. So Dan, you'd assume they have to get down the court and get a quick 3, call a timeout left. If you're a Thunderbird, if Nortman makes or misses here. Nortman sets his feet. His second free throw is short, no good. Thunderbirds are going to rush it across the court as Gorgon lost the handle of it, reclaims it back as Newman will jack up a three. His shot is good. Jeez. Absolute swish with 29 seconds left. Zenz going to hold on to the ball. He'll take a timeout. But Newman, wow, Mr. Clutch from beyond the arc here tonight.
We had the ideal view for that. Shot it almost right in front of us.
What a gorgeous swish it was by Newman. Yeah, no doubt. As soon as it left his hand, that was going in the bucket.
59-53. Your Vikings in the lead with just under 25 seconds left.
As the Baraboo student section finally getting into it here, I couldn't tell if it was a full or 30-second timeout. Regardless, we'll keep it here.
I'm guessing a full by how long it is. Just a guess.
So that's my fault for not paying attention, Dan. That's just another case where I haven't been paying attention, and you have. So I owe you, Dan. I owe you one. As the Vikings will look to inbound it, Thunderbird defense kind of tightening down here. 24.8 seconds left. 6-point lead for the Vikings. So very tough game for the Vikings here tonight, if they can pull it off. As the good free throw shooters are in. Larson was streaking. Nice little inbound pass. Little hot pass to Nortman, so he'll be back at the free throw line shooting two. With 24 seconds left, only 0.9 seconds taken off the clock.
As it looked like Nortman's defender was kind of pulling on his jersey before the inbound passed, so Nortman kind of almost getting harassed in a way on that.
24 seconds left. I don't want to say that an intentional miss would happen here, Dan, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to intentionally miss because that takes time off the clock. As Nortman's first free throw is good.
As Ziegler checks out for Kruba once again.
Or Kruba checks in for Ziegler.
Showing they're almost interchangeable in a way.
Just kind of change it back. When they need a free throw shooter in, they'll put Ziegler in. When they need a defensive player, they put Kruba in. As Nortman's second free throw is off, no good. Tipped up in the air, grabbed by Newman. He'll rush it across the court. Gets it over to Gorgon. His three-point shot is off, no good. Rebound by Farnsworth. And he holds on to it. 14.2 seconds away. The Vikings can smell it.
Got to hit these two free throws if you're Farnsworth to make it a 62-53 game. As is, it's a 60-53 game, 7 points with just over 14 seconds left.
You'd assume if Farnsworth puts these, if he puts one of these in, that would be nails in the coffin. As Farnsworth's first free throw is absolutely money. Potential nails in the coffin for Bryce Farnsworth off of an astonishing game he's had here tonight. Couldn't quite remember the amount of points he had here as Farnsworth goes 2 of 2 from the free throw line.
Two swishes
as Newman will get it across the court. He'll jack up a three, and that is no good, and the Vikings will just wait this one off and take the victory tonight, and they'll improve to 10-3. A hard-fought victory, but the Vikings pull it off with a 9-point victory over the Thunderbirds.
62-53, final 9 points, as you said, Will.
Not the prettiest of games, but the Vikings pull it off against a tough, hard-fought victory. We'll take a quick break, come back with your player of the game, also fan of the game. I'd like to keep that tradition going, Dan. 62-53, Vikings improve to 10-3. We'll be back with your player and fan of the game. Don't turn away, folks. You've been listening to Wisco Radio. We'll be right back. Excuse me.
Build your new home in Mount Horeb's desirable Valley View Heights neighborhood. Attractively priced, single-family home sites for your new custom home are now available on the southwest side of beautiful Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. Call Alex Pfister with Century 21 Pfister Agency at 608-576-7222. That's 608-576-7222. Join the Valley View Heights neighborhood today.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Wisco Radio for photos, stats, the tip tracker, and much more.
And welcome back here to Wisco Radio. We'll try to wrap things up quickly, folks, so you can attend to homework or work or whatever you're supposed to be doing when you're listening to us, or if you're watching TV and multitasking, if that's even possible. Nice game for the Vikings, a 62-53. 53. I couldn't quite remember the game. The final score. Dan, thank you for being there and helping me out with that. But I assume our player of the game is going to be Bryce Farnsworth by my decision. Dan, you've got our fan of the game here.
Well, I'm leaving the honors up to you. You're
going to leave the honors up to me for his second time of the year, Mr. Eli Ziegler. I would say our fan of the game. He's always at every one of his games. He's bouncing up and down, cheering for us. So it's hard not to give that guy the fan of the game. So congrats, you get the honor of being the fan of the game, Eli, and also Bryce. You get the honor of being player of the game. Amazing game in general by Bryce Farnsworth. Maybe a little surprising game. The Thunderbirds played it real tight here in the first half, but the Vikings overcoming that toughness and was eventually able to pull away here. Where the Vikings, with help from all around here, offensively kind of turn it up a notch in the second half, and defensively also started getting those rebounds there. I was glad to see many players like Nortman, Larson, Farnsworth finally going up with two hands to snatch those rebounds, not allowing anybody to rip it out of their hands. So good job making halftime adjustments here. Dan, I don't really have anything else to say. You got anything?
Go Vikings.
So for Dan Lins, Carter Kuhn, I'm Will Haraldson. Thank you, folks, for listening tonight. And don't forget to tune in this Thursday where your Vikings will take on Barneville at 7:15 should be the usual time. So thanks again, folks, for listening. I'm Will Haraldson. Good night and go Vikings.